Hi everybody, it's Dr. Ann Collins from Nourish Wellness Family Medicine, and today is March 27th, 2020, and I'm checking in to support and also give more information about how we can stay healthy during this time of social distancing and living under stay-at-home orders currently because of the coronavirus pandemic. So I just want to check in and see how you all are holding up. I know this is a very strange time for us and a time of a lot of adjustments. Many of us are learning how to work differently, and I think it'll be really interesting actually to see how we come out of this with a different set of skills. You know, I know I'm not a very tech savvy person, and yet I'm doing telehealth and trying to help you all stay at home and learning how to navigate things like Zoom and other video conferencing that to work with colleagues so that we can all stay up to date on the newest developments. And I'm sure you're all doing the same at home. Many of you are probably also helping children to navigate online school right now too, which is a whole nother learning curve for all of us. So despite our schedules being a little different, we're probably busy in different ways than we have been in the past. So I encourage you to all really please be very mindful to honor this stay-at-home order, regardless of how old you are or what your health condition may be. It is very important, even for those who are at lower risk, to be staying home and avoiding social interactions right now in a physical way. We really need to support our hospitals and emergency rooms by helping to reduce the number of cases of COVID-19 disease that are coming to blossom right now. As we're seeing in New York, this is a really concerning problem. Right now in Indianapolis, we're still in a phase where things are manageable, and we want to keep it that way. So we need all of your help to support us by just staying home and doing what you can at home. Please minimize your trips to the grocery store and out to get supplies and things like this. It is okay to send someone out to get those things, but I would really recommend to try to keep those trips to maybe once a week and not to use it as a way to get out of the house or as a social outing. It's important that you have what you need, your medications, prescriptions, those types of things, but each time you go out, you may be potentially increasing your risk of being exposed to the virus and then bringing it home to your home. So please minimize those trips as possible. Right now is a great time for us to all be focusing on what we can do to keep our immune system stronger. So if we are exposed to this virus, our body has a great chance of fighting it off. And there are things that you can do at home to help support that. One thing that is a big change for a lot of us is a change in our sense of physical connection and our physical interaction. Most of us are used to hugging a lot. I know I am. I hug a lot of you a lot. And it's strange, right? It's a big change to be keeping 6 feet from everyone. And that can create some stress. And it also reduces the natural boost to our immune system and to our dopamine levels that we get when we're giving that kind of physical affection to people. The handshakes, the high fives, the hugs. Within my own home, because of my work, I'm keeping 6 feet from everybody all the time. And we're quarantining kind of within the house to help keep the rest of my family safe. So that's an important thing for us to look at. How can we have a sense of social interaction and social connection support when we're all observing this need to try to minimize physical interaction? And I encourage you to think of ways that you can do that. We do know that people who have more social connection actually may have more strength in their immune systems. There have been multiple studies that have been done, one of which was one where they actually put rhinovirus, which is a cold virus, into the nostrils of test subjects. And I don't think I'd want to sign up for that, but some people did. And so we have data from that showed that although most of the people who actually had the virus directly installed into their nostrils did get infected with the virus, people who had 6 social connections in a 2-week span of time or more had a much lower rate of actually developing symptoms or the disease of the cold when they were intentionally infected with the virus versus people who had 3 or fewer social connections in a two-week period of time. So the people who had fewer social connections had a 4.2 times increased risk of developing cold illness, which is in this case of the study just the common cold, so obviously not a severe illness for most people. But there was a 4-time increased risk of developing symptoms in those people who were socially isolated. So think about your family members who maybe are in that situation. If your parents, like my mother, is isolated in her home intentionally right now, we're trying to keep her protected, but she's away from her grandchildren, she's away from me, she's away from other family members. And so really think about how can you help support those folks with FaceTime, with doing some Zoom conferencing. One of my daughters, who's a college student, has a Zoom group going with some of her friends that she's not able to hang out with in the dorm right now, and they're hanging out on Zoom. They're just kind of chit-chatting and having a group gathering every day, which I think is an awesome way to do that. With some of my colleagues, some of my med school classmates who I've reconnected with, we've been supporting each other by sending each other texts at the end of the day, just a little bit of a gratitude list. What was the best thing that happened in your day? What was the craziest thing that happened in your day? So that we have colleagues to support each other and just a touch point during the day. And I'd encourage you to find those ways that you can find ways to show your love and find ways to feel love and receive that energy back through your day in a way that's maybe a little different than you normally do. So we may not be able to have quite as much of that physical connection that really boosts us most of the time. But let's get creative. Let's find ways that we can do that and incorporate that in our day so that we're boosting our immune system and reducing the risk of a decreased immune system that can come from social isolation. From a nutritional standpoint, you all know I harp on this all the time. Some of you probably get tired of hearing me say it, but a plant-based whole food diet is a really wonderful way to support your immune function. So as you're at home during this time, really take time not to stress yourself out with, feeling like you need to do a lot of meal prep. Keep things simple, but really focus on healthy whole foods. So lots of fruits and vegetables, and beans, lentils, things that you can maybe store in your pantry that will last longer if you're needing to stretch out times between your grocery shopping. I really encourage you to stay away from the highly processed foods, your Cheetos and all those snacky foods. Avoid the drive-thrus if they're still open in your area. So please don't be doing an all McDonald's diet right now. Stay away from the soda. We want to really encourage our bodies to have all the micronutrients that we need to keep our immune system strong. So focus on that strongly right now. These times of change are a great time to make changes. So if you've been thinking about making changes in your diet, this might be a great time to do it. You might have a little bit more time at home to think about food prep and more time between grocery trips to plan what you want to pick up. So think about that. If you'd like tips, you can look for recipes on my appleaday.com website, which has whole food plant-based recipes for you. That's a resource for our practice as well. Physical movement right now is also really important. We know that people who are exercising at least 30 minutes a day have a much stronger immune system. So find ways to do that. It might be different than your norm. So if you're used to going to the gym, really try to find a way to work out at home. So at home here, I just have a yoga mat in my living room, and then I've been taking my dog and my daughter out for a kind of a walk once a day so that we can get some fresh air when it's not raining. Let's all hope for some more sunshine soon. But there's lots of ways you can do that. I was speaking with a patient the other day who has a little trampoline in her house, and she's jumping on her trampoline. So whatever works for you, but break it up into 2 or 3 segments if you need to. If you need to do 10 or 15 minutes at a time, so you can build up your exercise tolerance, then go for it. But do please make sure that you're getting some physical activity, and that's going to help boost your immune function right now as well. So the other piece is sleep, and I know some folks, talking to lots of folks that are feeling stressed, and I know that sleep can definitely be impacted by that. But as best you can, try to make sure that you're getting a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day. Focus on good sleep hygiene, meaning that your bedroom, make sure you don't have a television in your bedroom so you're not seeing news reports and things like that when you're in your bedroom in that calm space. Make sure that you're avoiding your screens within about 2 hours of bedtime. So it's important to be staying up to date right now, but avoid the tendency to get sucked in to watching the news over and over or listening to the news over and over, especially late in the day, because that will tend to get our mind going, and when we're ready for bed and things are quiet, then that's a time that sometimes the mind can get really active if it hasn't had a chance to calm down and let the sand settle, so to speak, before we go to sleep. So do calming activities in the evening. Try to enjoy time with those that are in your household, or if you're by yourself, just read a nice book or something that's not going to get your brain really engaged in worry. And think about maybe considering making a gratitude list at the end of the day. It can sound a little bit Pollyanna, I think, sometimes to people, but it really, really is helpful, thinking about what did I accomplish today, or what were the best things that happened today, and doing that in a time of difficulty can really help us to find a sense of peace and appreciation, and also strength to just face the next day, because we know that there may be some great things that might happen the next day, and we can focus on that rather than focusing on things that we might be afraid of right now. The other thing I wanted to mention is just substances in general. So right now, caffeine is something that folks may be using more of because they're home and they're bored and drinking more coffee. Many folks that I'm speaking to are feeling quite anxious, and it's important to remember that caffeine is a stimulant, and it can really be aggravating to the system. It can raise your heart rate. It can also raise your blood pressure, and a lot of folks are experiencing that already, just from the stress of this situation that we're all experiencing right now. So I encourage you to keep your caffeine intake to a minimum. If you're used to drinking caffeine regularly, I'd encourage you to wean that down. You might get headaches if you stop it suddenly, but definitely don't ramp it up right now, and see if you can minimize that. From an alcohol standpoint, any other substances, just know that those things should be, obviously, as always, used in moderation or avoided completely. Alcohol can be very disruptive to our sleep cycles. If you are drinking wine with dinner or other times through the day, many people will experience early morning waking, so waking up about 2 or 3 in the morning, and that can make it difficult to get a good night's sleep. So just pay really good attention to not sliding into those types of self-soothing techniques that maybe are not super productive for your health, and following the ADA guidelines and the American Cancer Society guidelines. For women, no more than 1 serving of alcohol in a 24-hour period. For men, no more than 2 servings of alcohol, and make sure your servings are realistic and not super generous. And make sure that you're considering not making that a daily habit, because while many people do find it soothing, it can disrupt your sleep cycle. So try to save it for weekends. Try to keep yourself in a routine as far as a regular work routine, and so you can remember what's Monday, what's Saturday, and that'll also help you to feel grounded, so that you're not needing to feel so much the need to rely on something outside of yourself to help calm yourself down. So there are a lot of great resources that I'm going to list in the email that you'll be receiving along with this video. We have taken our yoga classes online, so you'll be able to access those online if you're interested in doing that. I'm also going to list some other resources like Headspace and some of the apps that are really nice ways to help just find a way to center yourself at this time. And I think creating a routine, this is a great opportunity to consider implementing a meditation practice daily, or a breathwork practice daily, or any other mindfulness practice that's going to help you to feel centered. So whether it's making a gratitude list, or taking time to just take a mindful walk, taking time for a yoga practice, taking time for some contemplative time to start your day and maybe to end your day as well. So I just want you to know that we're here for you, and I know a lot of folks are feeling a lot of stress right now. We need to do our best to try to keep that managed as well as we can in the midst of this challenge, so that we can help support our immune systems, so that we're all more able to respond to the virus if we are exposed, and also so that we're not likely to have difficulties with other health concerns like high blood pressure and other issues right now. So know that we're here for you, and still available for visits and consultations. We are trying to do as much as we can by telehealth right now, so your initial visit, if you do need to speak with me or see me, will be online. We'll set that up. It's super easy, and we'll walk you through it. But that helps to keep you at home, so that we can honor the stay-at-home orders and keep you from being exposed to the community and potentially to other people who could be ill. So if we are unable to adequately treat over the phone, then we'll either bring you in or get you to the ER, depending on what's needed. So but everyone has my cell phone number, so you can reach me that way, evenings and weekends. And then during the day, you can reach me through the office number, which you all have as well. So be well, and try to find the silver lining in this experience, which is a challenge right now, right? And but it's there, and I do think the silver lining that I'm seeing is, I think that as we come through this, the natural kindness and humanity of our community is going to become even more present than it already is. And I think that we're all going to learn some new skills that we can use to take care of ourselves going forward as well. So let's focus on that, and let's focus on working together, focus on reaching out to those that you know who might need support, so that you can be part of their 6 or more social contacts with a respectful social distancing right now, but giving them verbal love, maybe using video so that they can feel your presence, and helping people to feel connected and not isolated right now. So I love you all, and I'm here. Feel free to please reach out if you have any concerns at all. We're available through the office, and I will send you another update soon. Take care.